Our final speaker of the evening is someone you've heard a lot about tonight, Barbara's husband, Nate. Here we go again, huh? So Nate, despite having his own doctorate, will tell me he doesn't know how to run PowerPoint.
I don't.
So that's yours, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now how do I get rid of it?
Just hit that button, and when you go to the next slide, and when you're done, you just close the lid.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you all for coming. I'm not only Barbara's husband, I'm also her home IT support person and her personal barista. John Guttag asked me to speak for the family, so I'd like to introduce our family members that are here. Our son Moses is here with his wife, Melissa, and our precious granddaughter, Miranda. Moses got his PhD in ECS at MIT in 2004, studying under Professor Silvio Macaulay. Barbara's sister Mary is here. Unfortunately, Barbara's brother Robert was unable to attend. My brother Bernie and his wife Judy are here. My sister Adele is traveling in Europe and could not be here. Barbara and I have one biological child and one grandchild. Of course, Barbara has many more academic children and grandchildren. She's advised 29 PhD students in her tenure at MIT, a number of whom are here tonight. Some of these students went into academia, advised students of their own, who then advised students of their own, and so on. And here we are. Now, I got a different number than Franz, but the reason there's a half is that one of the PhDs was advised by one of her students and one of her great-great-grandstudents. Okay, that's it for slides. Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about Barbara, including a few items not well known. Barbara was born and raised in San Francisco. As a child, Barbara used to go to her cousin's farm, where she was given the task of finding newly laid eggs. While there, she won her first big prize. At a county fair, she broke a balloon with a dart and won a kitten. Her cousins were not too pleased. The game was rigged. Barbara urged me to raise chickens at our house in Waltham, but I refused. However, last year, Moses and I built a chicken coop at his house in Lexington, so that desire has been more or less satisfied. In high school, Barbara was a little bored, so she often played hooky and went to the horse races. Then, she forged excuse notes in her mother's name. Barbara suspects her mother knew what was going on, but she never said anything. At Berkeley, she started studying physics because that was reputed to be the hardest subject. But she followed her interest and graduated in math. She then applied to graduate schools in math. From Princeton, Barbara received a postcard stating that Princeton did not accept women in their graduate math program. Too bad she didn't save that card. Then she decided to work before graduate school. There were no interesting jobs for a math major, so she first took a job programming in Fortran for MITRE. They took a chance on someone with no programming experience. After a year, she moved to Harvard, where she programmed in assembly language on a natural language translation project for another year. Through these two jobs, Barbara realized she had a real knack for programming. She then went to Stanford, where she got her PhD in AI in 1968, one of the first women to get a PhD in computer science. While the Old Boys Network worked to get academic jobs for her male co-students, Barbara came back to MITRE to work doing systems research. She decided her real interest was in systems rather than AI. Barbara presented an impressive paper at SOSP on the Venus system that she developed at MITRE. Professor Jerry Salzer was the chairman of her session at SOSP. After her talk, he encouraged Barbara to apply to MIT, and the rest is history. In 1972, Barbara became the second woman professor in EECS. Millie Dresselhaus was the first. At the welcome reception for new faculty, the chairman of the MIT Corporation at that time introduced himself to me as if I were the new faculty member and Barbara was the faculty spouse. He was very embarrassed. I should mention that Barbara and I consider the MIT EECS faculty as a third family. I was thinking how the last CSAIL retreat at Cape Cod was like a family reunion event. With such events over the years, all the close relationships we've had with her colleagues, and the collegial atmosphere in EECS and CSAIL, it's no wonder that Barbara's loved to come to work at MIT during her career. As an undergraduate at MIT, I was class of 1960 BCE, that is, before computer engineering. I have greatly enjoyed being part of the MIT community through Barbara. I met Barbara and her beautiful smile, which you might have noticed in the slideshow, in 1966 at Israeli folk dancing in San Francisco. We got married in 1970, and I have to thank her for taking my family name and making it famous. Otherwise, we might be talking about the Huberman substitution principle, and that doesn't sound right. Barbara and I used to do a lot of hiking and backpacking. We even did an 11-day backpack in the Sierras and a 7-day backpack in the Wind River Mountains when she was pregnant with Moses. Now, I carry her bags to various places around the world where we stay in comfortable hotels and she gives her talks. She usually finishes her talks by suggesting important issues for other researchers to look at in the future. But now she is doing research on those issues with Eddie Kohler and Andrew Myers, and hopefully will continue to do so in her retirement. While Barbara was at Stanford, she took a French cooking course. She's a great cook, and I'm the beneficiary. I'm lucky. In the morning, I hack on my computer until I hear the Nate breakfast call, and I go out to play golf while Barb goes to work. I come home, hack on my computer until I hear, Nate, dinner. Of course, I have to answer the Nate coffee call in the morning. Barbara loves the garden. I do the early season digging and work to keep the woodchucks at bay, but she gets great satisfaction picking vegetables when she comes home from MIT. She also enjoys our rose and flower gardens. Barb loves to have our granddaughter sleep over, and we try to do that every week. Barb has maintained an ability to have a normal family life as a wife, mother, and grandmother, in addition to building a remarkable career. She's a great example of balancing a successful family life with an academic career. We're proud that Barbara has been a role model for women in computer science and that she has encouraged other women's careers in her field. I never expected Barbara to retire, but now that she is formally retired, I expect she'll continue her career pretty much as before for a long time, but perhaps she'll have a little more time to practice her expertise in Sudoku, Killer Sudoku, Ken-Ken, and Kakuro puzzles. Among her many awards, Barbara was given the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Society of Women Engineers in 1996. The function was held in Portland, Oregon. I sat at a front table with Barbara's mother during the dinner while Barbara gave her talk. After the talk, I had to go up to our room for something. In the elevator, one of the attendees said to me, "You must be very proud of your daughter." And I answered, "I certainly am, and I still am proud of her."